What's up, guys? Welcome back to another live stream. Hope you guys follow along and enjoy the video, and hopefully we can talk about all kinds of cool stuff. So hope see you guys there. Alright, guys, we are back for another live video. My intro was a little weird. Forgot what I was going to say, but we're here. Hopefully everybody's in the chat. Hopefully everybody's in the live stream. I'm gonna get things situated here. I have to get the chat popped out so I can see what's going on. Alright, got that rolling. Alright, so it looks like we're live, guys. Looks like we are live. We got hunting and stuff with J&J in the house. SJ Outdoors. Casually Extreme Outdoors is here. Jake, what's up? We got Joe. Hot as hell, but other than that, can't complain. Rebels Untamed Outdoors. Any chance you're a Buffalo Bills fan? We got blah, 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 blah. Guys, starting traditions. What's up? What's up, buddy? Hunting with Preston. What's up, Woo Nation? What's up, Dave? Hopefully staying hydrated and cool. Yeah, today definitely had to stay hydrated today, and yesterday as well. What's up, Joe? Ed Stevens, Georgia. What's up? John Heiser's here. We got all kinds of people in here today. John Heiser. Good evening, Dave. What's up, buddy? Ethan Ward. What is the best seed for small food plot in the woods? Your best bet is probably a clover. Any kind of clover usually will do pretty good. Obviously you got to have some sun in there, so but clovers, you know, tend to be a little shade tolerant. You can plant some oats in there for the fall. Oats are relatively shade tolerant. You can get away with that. I've had success with growing oats in the woods with minimum sunlight. So any kind of clover. So to start out, basically I want to start out with this. I'm gonna give you guys the run of the show. You guys, I haven't done this type of thing yet, but if you guys want to ask questions, it's an open book today. I want to get to know you guys a little bit better. Most of you guys are here, you know, pretty much in all the live streams, so you're interactive on the videos and everything, so I want to get to know you guys better. You guys can ask me any kind of questions, and I'll answer them the best that I can. Also, hunting and stuff with J&J won a free trail camera, t-shirt and a hat, which actually shipped out today, because he has always been in the live streams. He's always interactive on the videos. He's always sharing. So I shipped him a brand new Spy Point trail camera. He should have it in a couple days, and then a t-shirt and a hat as well. So we're doing the same thing for 6,000 subscribers. So when we hit 6,000 subscribers, I'm gonna give away another brand new trail camera, a t-shirt, and a hat. And all you guys have to do if you want to win, all you have to do is just be interactive on the videos, leave comments, watch the entire videos. Don't just click on them and, you know, give it a like and comment and roll out. You know, I only want the true fans that actually support the channel and watch the videos and interact on them. I want to reward them people with some stuff every now and then. So once we hit 6,000 subscribers, I will do the same exact thing, and in between there, you know, I might give a t-shirt, you know, and stuff out with that as well. So if you guys want to interact on that and have a chance to win a trail camera, be sure to do that and follow along. So when it comes to Antler Grow, with those trees, did they already have buds on them or no? Yes, they had buds on them, very little. But who said that? Rebels Untamed Outdoors. They did, and the landowner told me that they would get buds, and every now and then they would get very tiny apples on them, very few. He might see like 5 or 10 apples on there over the course of the year, and they wouldn't amount to anything. But now, since we sprayed these suckers, there's thousands and thousands of apples. The one tree is in very bad shape. It's like the trunk of the tree, it's actually hollow and it's old and it's still got green on it, but that one only has about 10 apples on it. The other trees exploded. There's thousands of apples on those trees. Last time I checked, it was I think Saturday or Friday, I believe. I think it was Friday, but I'm going back down this weekend, and there was thousands of apples. Honey Sub J&J, what's up? Ed Stevens, we are great, trying not to melt. Trying to get to these comments here. I got some trees out here that were producing 2 years ago in western New York, and now suddenly last 2 years nothing. Now, a lot of, obviously fruit trees and stuff need to be pruned. I'm not an expert on apple trees by any means, but obviously they have to be pruned for maximum production of apples or whatever it is that you're trying to, whatever fruit tree that you have. But the fact is they also need nutrients. Antler Grow works miracles with this stuff because these trees can't get these minerals and micronutrients because it's not there for the tree. It's not there in the soil for the tree to pull it out. So the trees are not pruned. They're not pruned. They haven't been pruned. They're honestly too big of tree for me to prune them. I would need like a scissor lift and a forklift and all kinds of stuff to get that high to be able to prune them. But we're going to let it rip. We're going to spray them about every 2 months or so, maybe every 6 weeks, and see what we can get out of them, you know, see what kind of apples we can produce. The temp was in the low 90s here in Georgia today. Yeah, I think it was about 88, 89 today. Yesterday was hotter. Do you think dwarf extra grape would grow? Ethan Ward, yeah, absolutely. George Clark, what's up, buddy? John Hauser Dave got an email yesterday saying PA hunting and fur taking license are on sale. Just a heads up. Yeah, I got that same email. Thank you. Thanks, man. City Sticker Chris in the house. Ethan Ward, it won't let me go to your page. What I know you get asked a lot of these questions. How tall does a plot have to be to spray Antler Grow? SJ Outdoors is a very good question. And I have a video coming out either later in the week or next Wednesday about this subject. But typically, you want to wait till whatever it is that you're growing till it's about 4 to maybe 5, 6 inches tall. And that's with the 1 ounce per gallon of water ratio. Now, the video that I have coming out, I had buckwheat that was only probably maybe 2-3 inches tall, and all I did was reduce the rate. So instead of using the 1 ounce per gallon of water, I just knocked it back to a 1/2 ounce per gallon of water because it's extremely potent stuff. So I just knocked it back to that 1/2 ounce. So the answer to your question is, technically, if you stay with that 1 ounce per gallon of water, you don't want to go any more, but 1 ounce per gallon of water, you can do it at 4 to 6 inches tall. If it's a little bit less than that, a little bit shorter, just knock the rate back. You can even go a little bit less than a 1/2 ounce just to get that initial jump on there. And then when it gets to 5, 6 inches tall, then you can go ahead and hit it with that 1 ounce. Hunting with Preston, can you plant turnips and radishes without tilling up the ground? You can. It's best to turn the ground up a little bit. You're better off planting some like oats or clovers or something like that. Michael, how does someone get into this type of work, and can a person make enough money to support a family? Yes and no. I don't make any money. I do this for fun. I don't consider it work at all. I do it for fun. Like working with tons of different people and companies and all that stuff. But if you can pick up a company and work with them, you know, you could make it a full-time job to support a family for sure. Few and far between. Most of the time with this type of stuff, you actually lose money. So it just depends what you want to do. You know, I still work a full-time job, 8 to 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day, work on weekends, and do this type of stuff full-time as well. So I do it for fun. And honestly, I lose money all the time. So it's not profitable. Ed Stevens, I've been watching your videos for quite a while. I use Antler Grill all the time. My bucks went from spikes. Now I have 8 to 12 points in my clover every night. That's awesome, man. Ethan Ward, bro, you are my inspiration to hunt and grow food plots. Is it smart to have... I don't know what that says. Corn? Maybe corn. Corn with a food plot too. You can plant corn, but don't plant corn for nutritional reasons. I would plant corn to use as like bedding, or, you know, to separate different food plots from each other. You can put that row of corn in there, or you can use it to direct deer, you know, down a certain path, or, you know, something like that. But I wouldn't do it for nutritional reasons. But no, you don't need corn. You can plant all kinds of other stuff, you know, but you absolutely don't need corn. I would plant. I would focus. It depends what time of the year it is, but for the fall, you know, I would plant like some brassicas or oats or turnips or clovers or something like that. In the summertime, you know, you can plant sunflowers, sun hemp, sorghum, clovers, all that type of stuff. Mike from Michigan. Hi, Dave. Hope all is well. Doing good here, buddy. Michael, wow, thank you for the info. No problem. No problem at all. Anybody have any questions? Any other questions? Live Q&A. Ask anything you want. You guys have a question about hunting, food plots, life in general? Fire away. Don't take my advice about life, because I fail all the time. Rebels Untamed Outdoors. So what's the biggest buck you have taken to date? The biggest buck I have taken to date is a 172-inch 14-point buck. I shot it 16 years ago now. It was my second deer that I've ever shot. I shot it with a shotgun during shotgun season. I was 14, I believe. I think I was 14 years old. Everything's been downhill ever since. Never shot one bigger than that, and honestly, I'm not really looking to. It's on the wall. It happened. I just like to have fun, and, you know, I don't shoot anything small. I obviously want to try to let them go, you know, additional year, or, you know, something like that. But yeah, everything's downhill ever since then. Ethan Ward, what do you think the best seed is for the summer in a small plot? Probably in a small plot, probably clover and a chicory mix. Something like that. I did that at the farm. I did a clover chicory mix for a plot. I also did in another plot, I did buckwheat, because buckwheat has a very short growing span, so it's going to mature very quick, and it's only going to last about 60 to 70 days, and then it's gonna die off. But it's very good for the soil, for soil building. And then once that, later into the summer, I can go ahead and broadcast some brassicas and oats and whatever else through there. But for a very small plot, I would say either clover, chicory, sunflowers, sun hemp, cowpeas, soybeans. The only thing with soybeans is, depending how small of a plot that you're talking about, you're going to have issues because I've already had this issue with turkeys, with the soybeans eating the seeds, and then also depending how many deer that you actually have in your area, even if that soybean goes to grow, if it doesn't get a few inches tall before a deer actually takes a bite of it, that plant, if he takes it, a doe or a buck, whatever, if they take a bite of it, it's going to die. If it's not mature enough, it's not going to handle the browse pressure. Ed Stevens, the deer hit my mineral lick every day between hitting the clovers and soybeans. Awesome. Starting traditions outdoors. What seed do you plant in your food plots? Like I just mentioned, I like to. It's best if you have that large area to plant a variety of stuff. So I have clovers, I have chicory, I have soybeans, I have buckwheat, I have cowpeas, I have sun hemp, I have sunflowers, all kinds of stuff. When the fall, late summer hits, I'll go ahead and plant some brassicas, some turnips, some rye, maybe a little bit more clover, all that good stuff. So best to have a variety. So you have ever tried saddle hunting? Have recently started hearing about this on a different show. I have not. Ethan Wharton, what is the best deer attractant to get more deer on your property? The best deer attractant, depending, what type of year it is food. Think of it as human beings. We live by, at least I do, I live by my stomach. So whatever the best food, I can get a hold of, I'm going to be chowing down on it. So a lot of people and a lot of hunters have came into the hunting world thinking that in order to attract a deer, or hunters are very confused on that situation, thinking that you have to dump something on the ground in a pile to attract deer, and it's just not true. Deer are browsing animals by nature. So think of cows. When you drive down the road and you see cows in the field, what are they doing? They're grazing, they're browsing, they're eating grasses and weeds and stuff like that, and they're spaced out. You know what I mean? So the best deer attractant is having the best food available in your area, better food than your neighbors. If you're looking, something be like a urine, like a deer urine or something like that, then any kind of frozen deer urine is best. Something that doesn't have any chemicals, preservatives, it's fresh, it's frozen. That's what you want to use for that. But mock scrapes is probably one of the things that's overlooked a lot, and I am huge on mock scrapes, especially starting them during the summertime. I actually just started 2 of them within the past week, and that's actually how I killed my 10-point buck last year, was over a mock scrape that I started in June, and I had that deer patterned between natural food sources and that mock scrape. I had him patterned, and I was able to kill him at 7 yards on the ground out of a lawn chair. Is Antler Grill all organic? That's a good question. I don't think it's organic. It's definitely non-GMO. I would say all natural. I don't think it's organic. But it's definitely all natural, non-GMO. There's no chemical, you know, there's no junk in it. That's for sure. George Clark, what is the one mistake that you made that learned the most from hunting related? That's a very good question. And the biggest mistake I made was 2 weeks ago. And the mistake was, man, I don't know if I should tell you this yet, because I have a video coming out that I'm actually doing this weekend about this mistake that I made. So I think George Clark, I think you're gonna have to wait a week before I tell you the biggest mistake I made with hunting. So you might have to wait 1 week. Funny stuff with J&J. How much, if at all, do you use a grunt call, or do you just follow their pattern? I personally don't really use a grunt call that much, because I've found that, and you just have to use common sense when you think of it, but when you're in, I've been hunting with a lot of people, and when you're in the woods and you're hunting with others people, and you're very observant, sometimes I've been with people and they just take that grunt call and, you know, they blow it all the time, and deer just don't, they're not grunting 24/7. So yeah, they make noises, they talk to each other, they grunt, but if you, my theory on it is, if you don't plan on killing that deer, don't grunt at it, because you're just going to educate it. Deer can become very educated to that. You know, you sit there and blow a call, they hear it, they don't pay any attention to it, and they just keep on walking. Obviously there could be many factors, but that's my take on it. If you do not plan on killing that deer, don't call to it. Hey Dave, have you heard of plot start and plot boost? It sounds like Antler Grill. I have heard of it, and it is not anything compared to Antler Grill. That's a fact. Hey Ed Stevens, what part of Georgia do you hunt in? I hunt in Hancock County, and we have a 4-pointer better on one side on the rack, so you make a good point. The Antler Grill can cause bigger racks. Sunflowers, do they eat it or use it for bedding, or both? They will eat the heck out of sunflowers. Deer love sunflowers. Sun hemp, deer eat sun hemp. Sunflowers, they will tear them up. Now deer typically, I mentioned planting sorghum. Now I don't think sorghum grass is a preferred plant by deer. I've seen them eat it, but it was only after I sprayed it with Antler Grill at this one little kill plot last year, and they didn't eat it till late season. So it's not a preferred plant, you know, for them to eat on. I planted it for different reasons other than that. I just bought a gallon of Antler Grill. Can't wait to try it. Awesome, man. Any questions, let me know. Hunting with President, have you heard of Wind Scent by Fourth Arrow Camera Arms? I have. I definitely heard of that. Never used it, but I've heard of it. Ethan, how would you start a mock scrape? Good question. I wasn't big on this until about 3 years ago. I started making mock scrapes in about 3 years ago, right around, I think it was like early July, might have been late July. But it's very simple. Find where deer are traveling, bucks are traveling, travel corridors or something like that, and I typically just find an overhanging branch, and whatever branch is sticking out, I'll snap it, and that way it's a piece of it's hanging down. Get a stick or something, you rake out about a 2 or 3 foot diameter circle, and get it all the way down to bare dirt. pour some stuff in there, buck urine, squirt some buck urine in there, and you put a scent wick up in the tree. But you have to keep it active, you know, every 15-20 days, or you know, something like that. Just keep squirting stuff in there, and the deer, they'll pattern that scrape. And that's what I did last year, and had good success with it. What do you put in your mock scrapes? Gonna buck urine. Always buck urine during the summertime. Nick Smith, I have a great travel area stand that I have taken 2 deer per year from. I want to make it more attractive to deer, but it's in a heavy and thick pine area. Thoughts? If you have any kind of vegetation, natural browse growing, you can spray it with Antler Grill. You can make a mock scrape. You can do some hack and squirt to kill the trees, to allow some more sunlight down in there. That's, I mean, unless you want to bait them, you know, with something other than that, which I don't really like to do, but you know, it's really how deep you want to get into it. But yeah, mock scrapes are a great way to bring deer into the area. SJ Outdoors, have you ever hunted over bait? Absolutely, I have. I haven't done it in a long time. I've kind of grown away from that in probably about 3 years now. I don't like to do it anymore. I don't throw bait on the ground. I just kind of gotten away from that. But yeah, absolutely, definitely have. Funny stuff with J&J. When I get the package in the mail, I'll post a video on my channel. Awesome. Yeah, that went out today. You should have it in about 2 days, I believe. 2 days is what they said. You'll have it. Nick Smith. Baiting is illegal in Massachusetts. Mock scrapes in. Antler Grill. Antler Grill is legal in all states, minus California. Ethan Ward, would you consider hinge cutting? Absolutely. Hinge cutting is great. I did that Saturday. Did a bunch of hinge cutting. Did a bunch of hack and squirt methods. Bark injection, whatever you want to call it. Did that over a fire road to allow more sunlight down in there. Any new info on the trespasser? I have not. I have not seen him other than the picture that I posted. I don't know, 3-4 days ago, I believe it was. That's all I have on that. No new information. As soon as I catch him or get more information on it, I will be sure to post it. But I think what I'm going to do now is it's come down to going door to door and try to figure out who this is, because they've been on my property. That's 2 times that I know of on camera. Once it was an adult hunter, turkey hunter on youth season, and then second time he was just walking through the property. So I got him both times on trail camera, and I have an idea who it is, where they live possibly. So I've already had the police involved, the DNR. The problem is it's 2 separate situations. So one, you just have a trespasser. He's walking through the property, so that's not a game law violation. So that's with the police. Now the problem with that is the police can't help me because I don't know who the person is. They don't know who he is. So unless I know who he is or know where he lives, the police cannot help me. The problem with the game law violation with the turkey hunter, I had the DNR agent on speed dial. The problem with that is there's one DNR agent in the entire county. So I've emailed him the pictures. I've talked to him. He came out to the property, and there's just, unless you physically catch him, I mean, there's nothing you can do, or nothing they can do. It's very, it's a weird situation. Have you tried water holes? I have not done water holes. Water holes can be great. The fact is, with water holes, is deer aren't going to hit them a lot. Believe it or not, deer get most of their water through green and growing plants. If you don't have a lot of natural browse around, then yeah, water holes can be great. But your deer, 90%, 80%, something like that, are going to get all their water from green and growing plants. Ethan Ward, does Antler Grill help plants grow? Absolutely, it helps plants grow. It makes the plants more nutritious, more palatable, makes them grow. You're just feeding the plant through the leaves. Foliar spray can't be washed off. The plants absorb it. You're making healthier plants because the plants can't get it from the soil. How's the CWD issue in PA? As far as I know, there's a lot of CWD in PA. I just read something last week or something. They found some more cases, or it's a mess. What is hinge cutting? Hinge cutting is when you take a tree and you cut it about waist high, but you don't cut it all the way through. So you'll take a chainsaw and you'll cut it 3/4 of the way through and then push it over, and that tree will hinge down and it'll still stay attached to the trunk. So you don't want the tree to become detached from it. So when it stays attached to the tree, it's not going to die right away. That tree is still going to have green leaves on it for a longer period of time than it would if you just cut it all the way through. Not only that, if you don't have a lot of green and growing plants around your area, hinge cutting can provide a temporary food source. It can provide bedding and all that good stuff. Have you ever used your own urine in a scrape? I haven't. I've had it work during season. I've never tried it with mock, but a regular scrape. I've tried it a few times, different properties. One property it works, another property it doesn't work. I think it depends on the deer that's in the area. If they're familiar with hunters or human beings, I should say, with that smell and and all that stuff. Me personally, I'll just stick to using buck urine. Nick Smith, I planted a nice looking clover plot about 1/4 of an acre and sprayed it with Antler Grill, all in a clearing in the pine thicket. Hunting with Preston. There you go. I've heard a lot about YouTube demonetizing guns, fishing, hunting, etc. Is this true? How do you think it'll affect you and others like you? That is a big issue with YouTube. It's affected myself and affected many other YouTubers. I think it was June. No, I'm sorry. It was September. YouTube made some huge changes on the platform with the algorithm and and all this other stuff, and a lot of channels took a dip, took a dive right around September, as well as mine did. So they're just making it more difficult for you to be able to grow on the channel or YouTube. They just made a lot of changes to that, and that's just how it's coming. So we'll ride it out as long as we possibly can. I don't think it'll ever die. I don't think they'll prevent videos like that, hunting videos or something altogether, but we'll see what happens. Ed Stevens, just show the pictures of the trespassers DNR and the neighbors. I have. I've showed it to the. I've emailed it to the DNR agent. And that's what I'm gonna be doing to the neighbors. I already printed it out, the picture. I'm gonna be going door to door. How much Antler Grow to 1 gallon? 1 ounce of Antler Grow per gallon of water. Do deer like clover enough to attract them? Absolutely. Deer love clover. Deer will tear some clover up. So real quick, before I forget, I just looked at my little notes here. So, or maybe did I already announce this? Did I already say the 6,000 subscriber giveaway? Or did I not? I don't remember. I will try the grow some hack and squirt to get some more light in there. Best shade tolerant seeds area is spongy. Clover is pretty good with shade. You can do some oats. That's all, you know, relatively good for shade. Woo, I'm sure someone knows who your trespasser is. Absolutely, somebody knows who it is. They know they're not supposed to be there. I have a neighbor that I can ask. I think I have a neighbor that I can ask, and I think that he will probably know who the guy is. So in the next week or so, when I'm up there, I'm going to do everything that I possibly can to figure out who the guy is, and just, if I can talk to him, you know, talk to him in a nice way, and see what happens. You know what I mean? Give him my thoughts on it. He stays off. I don't go on his property. Stays off of mine. You know, if he has a deer or something that, and he's hunting and it runs over into my property, you know, call me. You know, he can come get it. But do not go on my property without permission, and you don't have permission. So unless you shoot a deer and we work out that deal, you're not coming on, or I'm going to call the police. That's basically how the conversation is going to go. Do you believe in scent lock clothing or the hex system, or you think it's a gimmick? I don't believe in scent lock. I don't believe in scent blocker. I've already went down that road. I think it's a huge gimmick. As far as the hex system goes, I don't know anything about it. I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. I just don't. I don't know. I can't answer the question. But as far as scent lock and scent blocker and all that stuff, I just think it's a huge gimmick. And it's way overpriced. It's just a marketing tactic to be able to sell clothing. Even more, what bow do you shoot? I shoot a prime. I shoot a prime bow. I bought that 3 years ago. I think so. Yeah, about 3 years ago, and I love the bow. Okay, I did mention this. All right, awesome. Nick, I planted turnips. Also, they did well too. Turnips is great. Rebels Untamed Outdoors. So, how often out of season do you shoot your bow? Honestly, not that often. I should shoot it more. I just don't have a lot of time to do it. I know it doesn't take, you know, very long to do. I should shoot, you know, a couple arrows every day, but I don't start shooting until right around now. Honestly, I got to get my bow. I'm gonna take my bow up to the local shop, get it tuned up, and paper tuned and all that stuff, and I'll be starting to shoot. So I don't shoot all year long. I usually start right around now. I'll shoot it, you know, a few times a week. And then when it starts getting closer to the season, I'll start shooting, you know, every day. And then during the season, I usually shoot 1 arrow or something into a target before I walk into the woods, just to make sure that it's on. Here in North Carolina, if you shoot a deer and runs onto adjoining land, you can go and get it with no problems. Yeah, a lot of states you can do that, and I don't have a problem, you know, with somebody doing that. But the main problem that I got to fix now is this person trespassing without permission. If he, like I said, if he shoots a deer, he can come get it. But as far as being on there without permission and walking through my property and being an adult turkey hunting on youth day, not cool. Ed Stevens, if you ever want to hunt my backyard in Georgia or my property in Alabama, let me know. Will do. That's awesome. Thank you. I shot 2 bucks with 1 shot a couple years ago. Has this ever happened to you? It is not. I've never shot 2 deer with 1 bullet, 1 arrow, or anything like that. I use dead downwind scent cover. I'm a field staff for them. Yeah, it's the only scent control field spray I believe in. One day I went to a campfire and clothing smelled like smoke. So the next I sprayed it and it was almost scentless. That's awesome. I've never, actually I think I have used that before. I'm sure it all works. Almost scentless by morning. Very cool, very cool. Well, if you guys don't have any more questions, I believe I am going to hop off here. If anybody has any other questions, be sure to ask. Appreciate all you guys being here. I have a brand new video coming out tomorrow. Now, the video is, I believe, 16 minutes long, and I was going to separate the video, but I did this video a few days ago, and I asked people, you know, how long videos wanted to be, and majority of comments said 10 to 15 minutes long. So this is the longest video I think I've ever uploaded to YouTube. It's like almost 17 minutes long. We take you through the whole process of disking the fields, spreading the seed, laying it all down. It was just a fun day. It's going to be the whole process of planting a 3-acre food plot, a kill plot, a logging road, and all that good stuff. It comes out tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So please be sure to watch the video, show it some love, comment on it, share it, and I'm curious to see how the video does, being that it's actually 16 minutes long. It's the longest video I almost think that I've ever uploaded. Could you put a corn feeder by a food plot and be successful? Sure. Problem is, very few bucks are going to hit a corn feeder. Majority of the time. Very few deer actually eat out of a feeder. That's the problem, you know, with a lot of that stuff is, you know, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of hunters and people have came up into hunting thinking that's what you need to do is put a feeder out and, you know, this, that, and the other, and it's just not true. Very few, especially buck. Does will hit it all the time, but a mature buck, phew, very seldom is he going to come to a feeder. If he comes to a feeder, he's going to be on eggshells. I followed your videos on field staff and such to get myself into the industry with dead downwind and antler rice as field staff, and I'm telling you, I don't know how people do more than 2 companies. Yeah, it gets busy. It can take up a lot of your time. I think I have 10 companies that I work with, I believe. It's a lot of work, you know. I work 8 to 10, 12 hours a day. I put in, you know, several hours a week into videos, you know, editing, and then I do food plots, and I travel 4 hours back and forth to the property, and I work overnights, and I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I do this video, and I do. It's just a never-ending process, but it's fun. That's the whole thing of it, is, you know, making sure that it's fun. If it's not fun, then you probably shouldn't do it. If you're in it to make money, you might want to find something else to do, because there's very few people that make money at it. I mean, you can definitely make money as far as making a living and being able to do this full time. It's very very rare. It may not ever happen. Obviously, you know, it's probably a goal of mine to be able to do something like this, or work with a company, you know, in the outdoor world full time. But we'll see. You know, we're still new. You know, we're still it's only been like 3 years, so things have came a long way in 3 years. I've gained many new friends. I've worked with a lot of companies, and I've met cool people. I've met bad people, but majority has been good. So you have ups and you have downs, but you just keep going. It's legit another full-time job per company. It is. It really is. I'm mostly social media, but I'm going to try and get into YouTube to help with advertising for them. That's a good thing to do. You know, have a mix between Facebook, social media, and YouTube. It's two different things. You kind of get two different types of people between the two, but I can promise you, if you do YouTube, it'll change the whole aspect of everything. YouTube is where it's at. Social media in general is where it's at. I'm using your channel as inspiration. Awesome, man. Thank you. Casually Extreme Outdoors. Just keep at it, brother. Will do. If anybody wants to go subscribe to Jake, he's in the chat. Casually Extreme Outdoors. You can go check his channel out and give him a subscribe. Also, same thing with City Sticker Chris. He's been helping me out on the farm. You guys can subscribe to him as well if you want. But yeah, he's been helping me out on the farm and doing some videos and stuff like that. But yeah, that video that I'm talking about tomorrow, it's a food plot video, 3 acres. It's like almost 17 minutes long. Be ready for it tomorrow around 6:30. I think it turned out pretty well. As always, it should be, you know, a knowledgeable, informational video to a lot of people. That's how I tried to keep the videos informational. So if you guys keep a lookout for that, you know, show it some love, share it, comment on it, all the good stuff. I'm very curious to see how that video does, because like I said, it's the longest video that I've uploaded to the channel. It's 16 minutes, almost 17 minutes long. So with that said, I'm gonna hop off here, guys. 3 a.m. comes quick. I got a few other things to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I really appreciate you guys sticking in here, you know, watching the live streams and the videos, and you know, whatever else that you guys do. And then we look forward to the 6,000 subscriber giveaway, because we're doing another trail camera, hat, and a t-shirt at 6,000 subscribers. So thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday, 7 p.m. See you guys.